Adrian, thanks for... Nope, that was not a good one.
That's for the blooper reel.
That is for the blooper reel for sure. Adrian, welcome to Waiting with Travis Hartman. This is a special In This Corner segment that we have, so you're a special guest. You're actually our first in-house guest that we've had. I've done a lot of them. I've done Zoom, like BJ Flores, we've done Zoom with Giovanni, but you're my first in-house guest in our new podcast studio.
It's an honor, man.
So I hope you feel special.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, man. I do.
And I like to see that you're drinking water. Even though this is the #1 boxing, beard, and bourbon podcast in Orlando, Florida, specifically in Laureate Park, specifically in a gym, recorded on a Sunday, but today is a Wednesday. I'm drinking bourbon because I'm not fighting. So
I'm gonna stay on water, but maybe next time. I don't drink bourbon. I actually don't drink at all. Right? I don't drink.
Good. You're a fighter. You're training, so
yeah, I'm always training. But if I ever would drink anything, it would probably be a glass of wine or tequila if I'm trying to turn up a little bit. Yeah.
So, Adrian, you are 7-0 as a pro now, correct?
7 knockouts.
7-0 with 7 knockouts. That's a nice little streak you got going. So you're fighting July 23rd at the Caribbean Royale. Again, you fought there a couple times now, right? Most of your fights have been there, I think, now.
No,
a majority of them or no?
Yeah,
just twice?
I mean, majority, yeah. I fought twice there before. This is going to be my 3rd time now.
And that's July 23rd. That's this Saturday. So this is Fight Week. So like I said, we appreciate you stopping by because I know Fight Week is always busy, especially locally. You live in Orlando, and I know that tickets and things like that and just like media stuff. So like we appreciate you coming on the show a lot, man.
Of course, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. So do you know much about your opponent?
His record is 21-15, I want to say. You know, he got a lot of experience, winning record. He knocked a couple people out. He's been around, you know. He's been pro for a while.
This is your first, like, probably like, against a veteran step up to like. This is probably your. You think this is one of your toughest fights? One of your toughest fights so far?
Well, I don't know. I always like to think that the toughest fight is gonna be the next one, you know.
Yeah.
But I had a couple challenges before I fought Milton Nunes, which is a Wilder creator veteran as well. You know, he had like I think 35 wins, something like that. And I fought my last fight, Jose Abreu, Cuban guy. You know, Cubans are.
That's the one we saw, I think, right? I think we were there for that one.
Yeah. And another winning record. He had a little less experience, but Cubans, you know, they're tough to fight too. They can be very awkward. Yeah, it can be awkward. So, yeah, I had tough opponents. He's Mexican, so I know he's gonna bring in the fight, you know.
It's a co-main event as well, right?
It's a co-main event.
So are you? How's that feel going in? Because this is your first co-main event, right?
Yeah. And before, you know, I was always like opening shows, so it feels good, man. It feels like the more work I put in, you know, people are finally recognizing it and being in one point like rewarded, you know, like yeah.
So how has training been with? I know that you're with what's your coach's name?
Tony Blanco.
Orlando Boxing is where you guys train at, correct?
Orlando Boxing Club. Yeah, we have 2 locations of downtown and then one near the executive airport in Orlando.
And you've been with him since you turned pro, so you've been with him for all 7 fights now, right?
Yeah.
Right
we had one amateur fight together, and then after that one, we were like, man, like this is no point in being amateur.
Yep.
We want to turn pro.
And so far, since I know that you're a cruiserweight, you're a big cruiserweight though. Like you kind of teeter on that limit of like heavyweight and cruiserweight. You're like 200, 205, things like that. Have you found some good sparring, bigger sparring, smaller sparring? How's the sparring been?
I mean, I spar Michael Coffey. You know, he's a heavyweight. He's a
big heavyweight.
Big heavyweight. Yeah. He can punch.
Yeah.
And I've been sparring too lately. Another up and coming light heavyweight. He's a cruiserweight, but he's going down to light heavyweight. Najee Lopez from Plant City.
Oh, got you. Right on. Plant City's having some kind of little stuff coming out of there now
with,
too.
Pro Box.
Yeah.
He's Pro Box. They got a lot of fighters coming up, so that's definitely really good sparring. So I got good guys. You know, I got guys that I need to move more with. I got guys that I got to pack my punch more. You know, So I got both of best worlds, you know.
Gotcha. So I know I'm going to rewind now and go all the way back a little bit. So your origin, you were born in Poland, right? Grew up in Brazil.
Yeah.
And then you went to high school here in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Over at Hunter's Creek.
Only my senior year, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So now, then you had how many amateur fights? About 10 to 15, something like that, right?
15, yeah. 16, 15, something
so
like that.
Going from amateur to pro, what was one of the first things you kind of noticed the difference of being pro to amateur?
Well, definitely
amateur pro.
The business side,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The politics that plays into it, the business side, you know. It's more like a game, man. You know, like a game.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta what do you bring to the sport?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like just fighting.
It became I think the word is it became more of a business than a sport.
Business, absolutely.
When I turned pro as well, the same thing. I was just like amateur was just it was more pure in my mind. Like when I was fighting, it was like the sport for sure. You were fighting for trophies, but you were fighting for like recognition. And when you turn pro, you're still fighting for that, of course. But to get in that limelight, to get to fighting for that, you got to bring something to the table and make it more of a business. And I feel like that's what, when I got it, at least for me, and this was, gosh, I'm showing my age here now, though. This was 2004 when I turned pro. Felt the same way, though. It still feels the same way a couple years, you know, 2 years ago when I last fought. I was like, this is a business, man.
It is.
Like, it's a business.
It is. It's a business. I mean, it's entertainment business, you know? It's like, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the sport?
So that's the funny thing too, leading into that, is somebody that's coming up that has kind of learned how to promote through social media is Jake Paul, right? He got super, super famous from just like that stuff. But you have a pretty big TikTok following.
Yeah.
Do you think that at all helps your ticket sales, like locally too, or what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I teach boxing, you know, I teach classes. Yep. I love teaching people. I love working with people, kind of teaching what I know, you know, spreading that knowledge forward. And a lot of people support me because I'm the one coaching them. They want to support me. They want to come see me fight. You know, they want to. All right, this guy's teaching me. Let me see if he's actually credible. You know,
to I mean, you're 7-0, so I think you got a little credibility there.
Yeah,
so
but they actually want to see it. You know, and my social media. You know, it's today's world. You know, social media plays a huge part in whatever you do, and definitely a lot of tickets. I had people who actually fly for my pro debut from Texas, New York, to come for my pro debut down here, and
that's pretty cool.
And
man.
that helps with ticket sales, you know.
This is a different age, man. Like I said, I turned pro in 2004. Facebook was not prevalent. None of those things were prevalent. So like TikTok obviously wasn't even around either. Facebook was around, but it was in its infancy. Like it was very, very, very new. But just to kind of see how the game was kind of evolved. Yeah. I personally don't mind it though. I mean, I think, you know what? Figure out how to promote yourself, and if it's social media, then people like. What do you think of Jake Paul? What do you think of his?
I think why not? The guy brings more attention to the sport. You know, he's bringing more money. He's bringing. He's having like, I don't want to say real boxers. You know, like I think he's taking the sport seriously. That's why he has my respect. He takes the sport seriously. Yeah. There's a lot of celebrities out there that just want to box, but they want to do one fight. They train for 2 months and that's it. You know, Jake Paul has actually been training for a lot. Yeah.
I think Nate Robinson figured that out pretty early, that you can't just cross over sports and just do it for a second, you know? And like, I think you're correct too. And that's why we know mutual kind of BJ Flores, who is the trainer of Jake Paul. And BJ says he takes it serious, man. The guy lives it, eats, sleeps, and breathes it. Will he be a world champion? I don't know. But the kid's trying his best, and he figured the game out how to sell.
So like I said, he has my respect, man. He's taking his sport seriously. He's training for it. You know, all his cards have I don't want to say real boxers, but they have boxers on the undercard. You know, you got Montana Love.
Yeah, that dude can fight.
He can fight, man. He can box, and he's entertaining to watch. But he's that guy that people didn't really know much about until he started fighting under Jake Paul undercard, and now I think he's signed with DAZN. Yep. So you know, that's a guy that like basically didn't get brought up by Jake Paul, because obviously he did the work. He brings himself up, but if it wasn't for Jake Paul's opportunity to fight on the undercard and all those people watching, maybe he wouldn't be where he is today, you know, signing with DAZN.
I mean, you're right. I mean, he's bringing a lot of eyes to the sport, whether they're boxing eyes or not. They're just new eyes for sure.
Amanda Serrano, too.
Yeah, made her a millionaire. I wouldn't want to say he made her, but he put her on that platform because she made herself that, because she's very, very well accomplished. But he gave her the limelight, and she took it away. Exactly. So now going back to that, so it's very hard right now for Jake Paul, too, because of his stardom, is to matchmake and find people to fight him. For you, you're 7-0 right now. I know I don't want you to look past this fight at all, by no means, but what's kind of one of your first short-term, like major pro boxing goals? Other than being pro, first of all, congrats. That's amazing. But other than that, now you're 7-0. What's kind of one of your first little goals? Like, who's somebody in that division that you want to fight, or you're thinking about maybe down the road a little bit? Do you have anybody on there?
I don't have anybody specific on mind.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot of great challenges in my weight division, cruiserweight. You know, like the Austrian champion just got beat by the Australian thing he is, or New Zealand. He just got beat.
I can't remember. There's been a couple new champions at cruiserweight now because Usyk left that division and kind of left all those titles.
Yeah, and left a lot of vacant belts. Yeah, so it was Briades and I don't want to say his name wrong, but I think he's from Australia, and he just beat Briades. But Briades is a guy that I was eyeing. You know, like that was like I want to, yeah, that would be a nice fight. He was a champion IBF, I want to say, and you got the WBC. You know, I don't want to say names because I just want to mispronounce their names.
Yeah.
But the WBC from the Canelo was supposed to fight.
Yeah.
You know, so I got a couple. I mean, obviously the champions. I want to be a world champion. You know, so. Yeah. Definitely eyeing those guys, definitely eyeing their belt, but we're still building the career. You know, I've been pro for a year only. You know, I turned pro in last year in May.
You guys have been super busy.
7 fights in 1 year, man.
Yeah,
this is gonna be my second year as a pro. This is gonna be my second fight. My first fight as in my second year. So 7 fights in 1 year as a pro.
Not bad.
Can't complain.
7 fights, 7 wins, all by knockout as well. Don't forget to mention that.
Yeah.
I know that some people don't like to talk about themselves, but sometimes you have to, especially coming up. Like, you have to talk about yourself because otherwise people don't know. And that's the thing. Like, I tell all these up-and-coming pro boxers, I'm like, listen, don't be afraid to talk about yourself because you have to. Like, literally, if you don't, who will?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because the media is not all over the place in these smaller, like, events. So, like, if not, you have to go on your social media, promote yourself, tell people, hey, you don't have to brag, but you're 7-0 7 knockouts.
Yeah.
That deserves to be told. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going on your first co-main event. That deserves to be talked about. So, like, I think that you guys definitely should do that stuff and put that out there. I mean, you have a big platform. Your TikTok. You have a big platform. Your Instagram. You have a lot of followers there, too. So, I think that you actually have a position and a platform that you can promote yourself a lot. Yeah. You're still in the infancy for sure. You're still growing. You're still getting, like, your name a little bit. But I think that you have that platform now that when something big does come around and you're 10, 15, 20-0, that your social media platform is going to be massive for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely helps, you know. But I not rushing anything, you know.
Yeah.
I do definitely appreciate where I become. I have a great team that got me here where I am. Yep. You know, 7-0. You're part of that as well. You know,
early on, way early on.
Yeah, but you're definitely part of it. You know.
Appreciate that.
And so I have a great team, great people behind me that helped me to get to this point, 7-0. Now with this fight as the co-main event. So yeah, I do appreciate it, but it's just the beginning. And from where I see myself, this is nothing, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's why maybe I'm not like, man, I'm the co-main event. I'm like screaming, telling everybody, you know, like, of course, when I'm promoting my fights, selling tickets, I tell them like, hey, I'm the co-main event. You know, especially people ask me what time I'm fighting. So tell them it's going to be a little later. But from where I want to be, this is nothing, man.
I like it. I mean, I like it. That's, you got to be wanting more always, and you're exactly right. But I think that you have a good pace here. Like, you're right on track, I would say, for early in a career. Actually, you're probably ahead of track a little bit, to be honest, because a lot of people don't have 7 fights. A lot of people aren't co-main event in their 7th fight. So I mean, that is awesome stuff right there for sure. Definitely. I think you've worked your butt off for that, though. You deserve stuff like that for sure.
Appreciate that.
So, what would you like to, I guess, going into this fight too, what do you want fans to kind of know and expect out of you for this fight? Like, this is in your knockout. Definitely a knockout. I like it, man.
7-0, 7 knockouts, expect a knockout.
Right?
That's it.
I like it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, do you want it early, late, doesn't matter? You just want that knockout period. Do you go in the ring looking for that, or how do you go when you go, because you have 7 knockouts, do you go in, and how do the knockouts develop for you personally?
Honestly, man, I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
I can't tell, like, oh, like, this is what I do, that the knockout comes out. It's just like, no, I just go in there. I feel my opponent the first round. Sometimes I start a little slower. Sometimes I start a little faster, depending how I feel like where his power is, where his speed is, how he moves. You know, sometimes I'm able to see how they fight beforehand. Sometimes I can find a lot of footage on the opponent. So I kind of
especially early on, that does happen a lot.
So sometimes I go more blindly, you know, how my opponent is. But I can't tell you, like, what is that knockout. I just feel my opponent, and as soon as I see an opening, I just take advantage of that, you know.
I mean, that's what it is. Then you just kind of let the knockout develop, and I think that is probably the best way to get a knockout is when you go out there looking for one sometimes. it kind of messes you up. So when you go out there and just develop your game plan and a knockout happens, I think that's perfect. That's like a perfect little scene of events that happened. And that's a good thing, though, because I think as a coach, your coach probably would say the same thing, I imagine, that I don't want you to rush anything.
Yeah.
When people go out there and rush stuff, that's when mistakes happen. So I think that your knockouts right now are probably good. That's perfect. Even though you want a knockout, I don't think you go out there because you don't have that mindset by hearing you talk that you're just like, I want to go out there, let it develop. If it happens, it happens. If not, so be it. But I want to get the win, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for sure.
Win at all costs.
So coming out now early, too, you're 7-0 now. You have a really good team behind you, you said. How about sponsors? Do you have any sponsors that have been helping you all along the way as well that deserve a shout out? For this fight especially, I guess, any big-time sponsors that you'd like to give a shout-out going
absolutely.
into this one as well?
All my sponsors, I got you, Travis Hartman, baby. But, yeah, Travis Hartman, you've been sponsoring me. You've been helping me a lot. I got JP Realty. Jason.
Yeah, Jason here in Laureate Park,
He's in Laureate here. He's an Orlando realtor, has been helping a lot. Great guy. And not just like by sponsoring me, but a great guy too, like just sitting down, having a conversation and kind of like helping on the business side as well, just having kind of like that mentor, like just sit down, talk, have a nice conversation, and always a nice different perspective, nice view. Got my coach, Tony Blanco with Orlando Boxing Club, he's my coach.
You got Pretty Boy AP.
Yeah, he's the one that came up with the name. He's kind of the one that helps me like market myself a lot. He has a lot of experience in the business, the business aspect of the boxing as well. He knows how to build a career. He knows how to get you to this point where I'm at. So definitely a guy that has helped a lot. I got Slate. I don't know if you ever tried Slate Protein.
I don't know if I have. Yeah.
They are Publix, man. It's 20 grams of protein. Only 110 calories, no sugar, so like definitely helps.
I feel like this is a commercial right now.
Oh man, I mean,
Pretty Boy AP has it.
I don't have more, man. I already had one today after my workout. But you asking me about a sponsor, man? It's too late.
I appreciate it. No,
I gotta stay on weight. I'm gonna stay on weight, being hydrated. It tastes so good. Chocolate milk. I got my protein, no sugar, low on calories. So I'm having that. I'm getting all my nutrients, getting my protein and natural occurring electrolytes. So staying hydrated with that definitely helped me a lot. I just got a new sponsor, Sting.
Yeah. They're
Sting
USA Boxing.
USA
as well,
Boxing.
Right?
They sponsored the Olympics. For gloves, man, they gave me all the equipment that I need. That's gloves, hand wraps, even gym clothes to work out on. So basically like every little aspect that I need help with, business side, I need a little mentor. Boxing side, business, I got it. Nutrition, I got it. Boxing equipment, I got it. So yeah.
I think this is something that people that don't realize too, all that goes into professional boxing as well to make a team. And first of all, just to repeat again, July 23rd, Saturday, you're fighting at Royal Caribbean. Is it Caribbean Royal or Royal Caribbean? It's either one. Caribbean Royal. Caribbean Resort. Royale. He's a co-main event in your 7th fight. You're 7-0. So just want to reiterate that for sure. And just let everybody know that like all the stuff you're talking about now is like there's a lot of stuff that goes into that career, right?
It's not all your team, everybody around you. Like literally what I'm telling you about my sponsors is everybody around me. Yep. It's like I can probably get like more sponsors, that would pay me more, but what am I trying to do? Am I trying to go for a short run or long-term run, And so I'm building a good team, people that I trust, people that I know that got my back, that I want to go far. Like I'm saying, like where I'm at right now is not even compared to where I want to be. So you need a good team for that. You need people you trust. You need good people in your corner. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's a recipe for a world champion for sure. And not only that, and I think you're correct that I think too often people get too big too fast and they have those clinger-ons, those guys that are just there for the money and the fame on the side and just suck you dry really. But it's good to have what you have. You don't need big time, these huge massive corporate sponsor, all this money throwing around. You need a good quality team. Even though boxing's a one-on-one sport, it is one of the one sports that's one-on-one. It's only you out there. But what people don't realize is even though there's only you out there, it takes a lot just to get you out there, if that makes sense. That team around you.
What do you do what do you do behind the scenes of a fight? That's what matters the most, not actually what do you do in the ring. Of course, like you got to fight, you got to knock him out, you got to win, whatever it is. But what happens behind the scenes, who's with you behind the scenes matter a lot. Just having that positivity around you, people that support you, having a good team that supports you, and people that take care of you.
That brings me. You reminded me of something that. So going into your fights, do you have any kind of like superstitions? I remember early on, I think you said your brother had some superstition that you did the first fight or something. So you got to do it every fight or something, like a shirt or like something. So do you still do it?
No. So that's the thing, right? So my brother, he played college soccer. He played professional, and now he's not playing anymore. Now he got a corporate job, but he always gives me advice. Like I was saying, like it's the people behind me, the support that I get. So yeah, shout out to my brother Fonzie. First day I did everything kind of like how I wanted to go to feel comfortable for my pro debut, and then for my second fight, I was seeing this girl, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like I can't sleep at your house. I'm gonna sleep over at my house. Like I'm going to do exactly everything that I did on my first fight, because obviously I got a first round knockout on the first fight. Obviously it went well. So I'm like, I got to do everything again, like kind of like the ritual for the second fight. And then my brother told me like, nah.
Change it up. Yeah.
He's like, man, this is your second fight. You're going to do great. Change everything up. Don't do anything exactly like that. Sleep over at her house. What you ate on the first time, don't eat. Try something new, so you don't start this ritual. And it's like, man, like sometimes it's not even about the ritual. It's not even about the food that you ate. It's not the difference if you ate oatmeal or eggs with toast in the morning. That's not really gonna like mess you up like that. Yeah. But
it's mental. It's all mental.
And he's like, man, just go on that fight knowing that you did everything that you had to do in the camp. Yeah. And that morning, the night before, is not gonna change anything. So because next fight, if I fought in Nashville, I fought in a completely different city, in a different state. So I can't sleep in the same place. What if I fight in New York and I gotta sleep in a hotel? I can't sleep in my own bed. I don't have the food that I usually have. Then my ritual's all messed up, and now I'm like, oh man, like what do I do now? Like my ritual,
you're learning the game now.
So I did everything completely the opposite, and I just go how I'm feeling by that day, what I want in breakfast, what I'm craving on. I sleep sometimes in my own house before. Sometimes I sleep in a hotel. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, got to change it up.
Well, Adrian, I appreciate you coming on with us. We're definitely going to have to do this again. This is just a little snippet of your career and part of it now, because we could talk for hours for sure. Yeah, Didn't even get into a lot of stuff, but I appreciate you coming on the show in this corner, man. We're going to be there. Like me and Brandon B Money have always talked about. We're trying to make local boxing great again, if that makes sense. But we go to every show now. We put them on our show. People that are fighting on the shows, we give shout outs, and we actually go. We pay money. We don't get free tickets. We actually buy like the best tickets. Because I buy them from you. So that's something else, guys. If you guys need tickets, there's show tickets left. Contact these guys. Contact a fighter directly is awesome, because they get a little percentage of that stuff right now. So definitely, if you need tickets, I know there's general admission tickets, there's ringside tickets, there's table seats, there's all kinds of stuff like that. So do you have a handle for that? Does your coach handle that stuff? Is Facebook? What's a good place to contact for that? Instagram, Facebook,
you can hit me up on
anywhere.
Instagram. Yeah, you can hit me up on Instagram.
What's your handle on Instagram?
Heavy AP. AP. Pretty boy AP.
Adrian Pinheiro.
Yes,
I appreciate you coming on the show, brother, and it's good to see you again.
Good seeing you, man.
And we'll see you on Saturday. Hopefully, even though you're not drinking right now, maybe at the after party you might have a little sip of wine or something for a celebration victory.
I got you.
All right, God bless, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man.